The Mayans occupied and settled in the Yucatan area in Mexico between 2600 BC and 1800 BC. Then the Mayan Empire came into its own between 2050 AD and 900 AD, though some believed it wasn't technically an empire, but had separate entities but common background beliefs and everything. The Mayans occupied the now Mexico states of Chiapas, Tabasco, and the Yucatan. Also, it stretched down into Central America, into Guatemala, El Salvador, and western Honduras, and also in Belize. There were believed to be in two identical but different types of Mayans. There were groups who lived in the highlands, in the mountains, who were contrasted with the lowland groups, where they had to actually hunt and scavenge for their food, such as monkeys, deer, and other animals in the area, compared to the lowland groups who were doing more agricultural stuff, such as farming crops, beans, squash, etc.
The Mayan social class was set up so perfectly that everything throughout the society would run smoothly. The bottom of the pyramid was filled with farmers, slaves, and captives. They did all the dirty work and the labor. Even though the farmers would provide food for the whole society, their rights were still the same as slaves. The middle class was made up of merchants and crafters. They provided society with goods and trade from trades in other societies. They also demanded respect from the farmers and slaves and had a lot more wealth. At the top of the course was the king. Underneath him were the priests and nobles. The section of the society was all through heredity. You had to be born in it. There was no other way to get in. This type of structure worked for the Mayans because the middle and lower class believed that the upper class were descended from the gods. They respected that the gods chose the people who could rule them.
All over Mesoamerica, there were identical cylindrical systems which guided the functioning of which religious rituals were to be performed and when. Sacrifices were required to ensure that the world remained orderly. Blood was considered the highest gift that could be offered to the gods. They called it precious water. Human blood best pleased the divine. Mayans would also practice bloodletting on themselves. Human sacrifices were only performed by members of the priesthood. Victims were selected according to specific requirements. They would choose a mature woman who would have to dance in the market before being sacrificed. Usually it was a public display of a decapitation.
The Mayans created their own system of mathematics and astronomy, and by using this system, they were able to make their own calendars. The first calendar was called the Tzolk'in. The Tzolk'in was made up of 260 days. And on this calendar, they would mark their special holidays and religious events. Soon after, they made their second calendar, known as the Hab. The Hab was made up of 365 days, and 5 of those days were known as the unnamed days, and these days were known as the cursed days, where the gods rested and the earth was a dangerous place. Then, after that one, they made the calendar round. The calendar round was a combination of these two calendars, but it only lasted 52 years. So they made their fourth and final one, known as the long count calendar. The long count calendar was to last for 5,125 days, and this time period was known as the Great Cycle. This calendar also created a superstition that the end of the world was going to happen on 2012, but what the fuck?
The king has sent me to find a woman for sacrifice for the god Itzamna.
You're in luck. We have one woman left, and let me present you to her.
Before she is sacrificed, she must dance. It is time!